inspirational reading today. Welcome to those on the internet. We have our inspirational reading coming from one of our pink books, which is considered what we call our love scriptures. These are channel messages from anonymous adults, and they're called the Brotherhood of the Followers of the Present Jesus. And this one is from the book in the series called Giving and Forgiving. It's one of the earlier ones. And it comes on page 39. Jesus states, "For if you would let go of the past, the thoughts, the bindings, the persons through whom you found your happiness, the places, the things, if you would let go and sink into the love of God as if to drown in it, you would find that a richer happiness awaits you and surrounds you more than any which you ever could have had before. But you will never know till you let go of the happiness you have now. Let go of that rope." Thank you, Jesus, for that. It's simple, but not always easy. And so, to help us with this topic, to delve into it further, we have our guest speaker today who has taken all of the courses at the Teaching of the Inner Christ, all the way up into the ministerial class. She was a minister from another teaching at one time, and she is a student of spirituality, always reading and always becoming more. And she is a searcher, and I love that about her. Today she's going to be speaking on Release the Past. Please welcome with me, Cathryne Bruce Johnson.
Thank you, leader, teacher, inner Christ counselor, Jennifer Allen-Prather. Release the past. Seems like a tall order. Yesterday is gone. Release it. No matter what you have done, now is all you've got. Right now can be whatever you choose it to be. You can choose what you are to give to this present moment. And what you give is what you have. Thank you very much, Tom Johnson, and his little book, To Love and Be Loved. All right, yesterday is gone, release it. I like what leader, teacher, inner Christ counselor Jennifer said. Simple directive, not always easy. And when I think about past, releasing the past, I think the past to most of us is really a collection of our thoughts about ourselves or other people or something that's happened, a collection of thoughts that become a story. So when we're talking about releasing the past, I think about releasing my story. And it's not releasing the wisdom and the experience I've gained, but it's releasing that which seems burdensome, the heaviness. So today we're going to talk about some of these stories we may have been keeping about ourselves and others, how they may have bound us, and a few techniques for freeing ourselves to release the past. So the past are our thoughts, our stories, maybe how we define ourselves, how we define other people. And I like what, there's a whole body of work by Eckhart Tolle. You may have heard him. He wrote The Power of Now and many other books about mindfulness, being present. And you know, when you're present, you're not in the past. And he says, if your mind carries a heavy burden of past, you will experience more of the same. The past perpetuates itself through lack of presence. The quality of your consciousness at this moment is what shapes the future. And he wrote that in The Power of Now. I really see how my happiness, my sense of well-being is tied to the stories I may carry. And I'll tell you, do I have good stories or not so good stories? That is the question. Eckhart Tolle also says the primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but your thoughts about it. I feel the truth of that in myself, and that was from his book, A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. So really, my thoughts, how do I feel? We have this wonderful nervous system in our bodies and our feeling nature that lets us know, do I feel good? What's my joy meter, I like to say? What's the joy scale for me right this minute today? And if I'm dwelling on something, if something keeps running in my mind, is it something that makes me feel happy, joyful? Do I feel expanded? And if not, it may be something to release. And I also think about these stories. You know, how is it binding me? How is it limiting my ability to feel connected with myself or the people in my life, or just the present moment? Is there any pain, restriction, and am I willing to look at it? That's the opportunity that we have when we release the past. Is, you know, just looking at it a little bit and see what is the thing that I am holding so tightly to, and why not let it go? Because really, who would I be without this story? Have you ever asked yourself, who would I be without this resentment, without this pain, without this newsreel in my head about something that happened or something somebody did or my experience? Release is really important. It's super important. Did you know that releasing, you could call it elimination, is one of the 4 health ideas that we teach at the Teaching of the Inner Christ? It's, let me tell you about these 4 health ideas. They're in our textbook, Being a Christ. Here it is, a wonderful textbook, so full of goodness. Definitely delve into it. And in chapter 8, page 120, I talk about the health ideas. The health ideas are inspiration, assimilation, circulation, and elimination. Elimination is the release that we're talking about. And the textbook says all of these activities must be in balance for a healthy, happy living. So we need to release, because we can't get new good if we're holding into the stale good, right? And so when we're in inspiration, we're bringing it in. You could think of inspiration, breathing in. We're accepting the goodness of life. When we assimilate something, we unify it. We make it part of ourselves. You know, it becomes part of us when we assimilate. And then it has to circulate. This is our ability to use our energy, whatever it is, our good. But guess what? You got to get this. Nobody wants to be stopped up. We can't stop there. We've got to let it go. We've got to eliminate, and we've got to release to allow the new good and to really feel happy. Here's some ideas I have about releasing the past. I've done this many times. It is probably not the most effective. It's the talk, 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 chew, chew, chew until you're done, done, done method. Has anybody done that? Talk, 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 chew, chew, chew until you're done, done, done. This is when I go over it and over it and over it in my mind. I talk about it with anyone who will listen to, and before I know it, I'm not going to go into the story. Oh, I go into the story, and I do it over and over and over until the flavor is gone, and I'm so done with it. So this may be something that happens, and this may be a way that we process things. But let me tell you a story about the talk, 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 chew, 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 and done, done, done method. It's a side story. It's not a direct story. But you'll find it amusing. When I was a teenager, a young person, I loved chewing gum. I was a big gum chomper. And it was just one of those things that I did. I loved gum. I was chewing gum all the time, sticking it in my mouth. Well, and this is kind of like what we do with our stories. We chomp on them, we chew on them. Okay, so I had a horrible habit, and I'm free of it, so I can confess it now. I saved my gum. No, I didn't just chew my gum and throw it away at the end of the day. It was still good. I put my gum on my bedpost, on the back of it. And I would grab it the next morning, because, you know, I had one experience of getting my gum in my hair, and I had long hair as a teenager too, and it's horrible. So I learned, well, I gotta at least take the gum out of my mouth. And because I was holding on to it, right? I was holding on to all the goodness I thought this chunk of gum had. All right, so, you know, I would get chunks of gum behind my bed, and I would chew, 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 chomp, chomp, chomp until all the flavor was gone, and it was totally done. I would add more gum till it got bigger and bigger, and then, you know, at some point it was too big, and it got dusty or something. It just had to be thrown away. Well, imagine this. I'm a young bride. I have just turned 18. The love of my life has come home on leave to marry me. And we have the wedding in my backyard, beautiful wedding. Our parents send us off with our little suitcases of wine and towels and things for our honeymoon in Santa Cruz. And we have a couple of days in a nice hotel. And so we have our wedding, we have our honeymoon, and we're going to go back to Germany, where my husband was assigned in the military. But we've come home to my childhood bedroom, and my childhood bed. And what does he find on the back of my bedpost? Newly married, he finds my wad of gum. Well, I'm like, oh yeah, it's my gum. You know, I did that all the time. But guess what? That was not my husband's habit. And he was quite disgusted with that. And in fact, he was appalled. And not that I really felt ashamed of it. I really, you know, I was very prissy, but apparently in that case I felt like I was raised in a barn. Just put your gum on your bedpost. I did learn to throw my gum away every day, not to recycle it and keep chewing on it. We can learn to stop chomping on the gum. We can learn to be done with it and throw it away when it's done. Lessons learned. It can't, even if it's years of habit, you know, we could say enough is enough. And I will report that somewhere in my 30s, I did completely kick the habit of gum chewing because it wasn't good for my jaw, apparently. It was causing issues. It is effective. It's, you know, I call it the talk, talk, chew, chew until you're done, done, done method. And at some point you get tired of it, disgusted, and you're done. But why not use some tools that TIC has, Teaching of the Inner Christ has? So I say, let's just bring in some super detergent to deal with the, release the past, get that stain right out of whatever we're living in. And I say call on our I am self, our I am ourself. We go into meditation, we bring the issue to a quiet space, and let's call on our I am self, our higher self, to say, just deal with this. Can I just give you my gum? I'm tired of it. And let's give it over. And the other, because we have that power, that wisdom within us that is not chomping and knows exactly how to do it. The second thing we need to do is maybe some discipline. Say stop. Say stop. If you have a newsreel going on in your head, does anybody ever have that happening? I have had that chewing, just say stop, throw it away. Say stop. And in discipline, in this case, we learn in being a Christ that we're following its discipleship of our true desire. It's not my true desire to be chomping. I want to be loving, expressing, creating. I want to play in the world. Maybe you do too. So when we give it over and then we stop, we say stop, and we might have to do this over and over again. That's the discipline. Oh, here's the real. Stop. Here, inner Christ, take it. We may have to do that over and over again. And that means we have a commitment. It's discipline and commitment. And the commitment is to joy. Why not feel good? Commitment is to the shift of focus into what are the great joys in this present moment. We can't do that when we're chomping on the past. And the next thing I do, give it over, discipline of stop it, give it over again, is affirmations are so powerful. They're like little pellets of truth to kind of freshen up. So we've got to replace what we've been feeding the monkey mind, the story. Let's give it a really good banana with an affirmation. And affirmations are powerful, positive statements of truth in the present tense. So whatever the issue is with this past, write a few affirmations to have on hand, to replace it, to keep bringing you to focus at the present moment. And here's a few that I wrote for myself. I am thankful for each breath. When I say I am thankful for each breath, it feels so good. I have everything I need right now. That really helps me. Whatever has been, whatever my mind has been chomping on, I have everything I need right now. I am filled with peace and strength. I am strong and beautiful. I like that one too. I am sustained by the love of God. Was that one of your songs, Reverend Elizabeth? She has so many beautiful songs with these affirmation truth statements. But I love this. I am sustained by the love of God. And another one I like, I hear Louise Hay has written this often in her books. All is well. All is well. As Tom Johnson wrote, To Love or Be Loved, Tom Johnson, he says, right now can be whatever you choose it to be. You can choose what you are to give to this present moment, and what you give is what you have. We can be the gift. Let's be the gift, not the story. So I don't know about you, but I'm going to suspect that everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to feel better. Everybody wants to feel connected and expanded and alive right here, right now. So the helpful suggestions to do that you might try are just take that quiet time every day to check in, see how you feel. If something's rolling in your mind, say stop and give it over to super detergent, to your I am self. Stop, give it over. Stop, give it over. And then repeat your affirmation. You know, take these affirmations, you've heard this before, but it's so good. Write them out, put them on your bathroom mirror, put them, you know, wherever your eyes fall on frequently. It might be your computer, you know, if you have a laptop, maybe you post it on the screen, on your car, on the dashboard, and say these affirmations frequently throughout the day. I am enough. I am loved and loving. I have everything I need. And you make it to suit you. So do these things and give up the monkey mind. Just throw away that old piece of gum. Fill it with have your affirmations, have some inspirational material to read. And if you need assistance, if it just feels like too much, like, you know, that wad has a hold on you. Can't quite it's a little too much. Please contact the Teaching of the Inner Christ at teachingoftheinnerchrist.org. And our leaders are there to help with prayer and support with classes and activities. And why? I mean, you do deserve it. But why should we release the past? Why? Because releasing the burdens of the past feels good. And you do deserve it. To you, Miss Jennifer. Thank you, Cathryne Bruce Johnson. I will have forever emblazoned in my mind that wad of chewing gum. It was a great, great picture, analogy. Thank you. Wonderful talk. Thank you. All right. So, if you have received inspiration from this service today, this talk, and I don't see why you couldn't, we have a saying here. It's a Bible verse from Malachi 3, verse 10. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house, and try now in this, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open for you the windows of heaven and pour out for you such blessing, there will be not room enough to receive it. You know, that's a great picture. Just, there's not room enough to receive it in our minds. And so we thank you for supporting the Teaching of the Inner Christ with your donations, your love donations. You can submit your donation through our website, teachingoftheinnerchrist.org. Go to the very top menu on the right-hand side and click donations, and we will be very grateful for your support in this way to help the teaching be all over the world. Or you can mail your donation to Teaching of the Inner Christ, 1114 North 2nd Street, that's SECOND Street, El Cajon, which is spelled E-L, and then a new word, CAJON, California, and the zip code is 92021. Thank you so much. We know that you are blessed.